Okay, hi.
Hello.
As you all know, I'm Noor. My mom is Zaina. I'm more comfortable speaking in English, بس إذا عندكم أي سؤال بالعربي عادي أتكلم عربي أقدر أجاوبكم. وصراحة I'm open to any questions. So, I mean, like I'm not uncomfortable answering anything because thankfully I grew up in an open environment and I've learned that although talking isn't easy and sometimes you don't want to talk, it's very important to be open about this kind of stuff to help you grow as a person and to help others around you grow. And yeah, and a really important part of talking about adoption is talking about the dark side of the moon, as I like to call it, because see, adoption in all its greatness is something very beautiful, but in the end, there's going to be some negative side effects, I guess you could call them. I usually talk about the happy side because, quite frankly, I was a kid. And now I feel like I've reached the point where I can talk about these things and people will take me seriously. So yeah, like the thing that prompted me to talk actually today is that, I mean, a couple months ago, my mom told me that they didn't want to hear certain people talk about their experience with adoption because it's too dark for them or it's too sad. And they wanted me to talk because I always talk about the positive aspect of things. But the only reason I didn't talk about the negative side was because I didn't know how to express it. But now I do. And yeah, they told my mom that I'm always happy and they wanted me to talk and I'm not. Actually, adoption is really hard. And I mean, I think it's very important for people to talk about the dark side because it gives people who are looking to adopt, like, of course, it's something very beautiful and I'm grateful for my family and grateful for everything positive that's happened. But I mean, don't expect it to be easy because as hard as it is to raise a child normally, it's going to be 10 times harder to talk and to raise an adoptee because there's so much that you have to explain, so much like trauma that the child goes through, whether it's bullying or just, I mean, trauma that comes with adoption, basically. I was bullied for talking. Even though I am open, I have been open for my entire life. Even though I'm very comfortable about it, I didn't actually start talking. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't actually start talking about the bigger part of my adoption and explaining it to people until I was in 7th grade. And I actually announced it to my entire school in a speech competition. But I was bullied for it in the past because I was so open about it. And frankly, people didn't understand. And the fact that people don't understand is what led them to bully me. So yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I'm not great without notes. Yeah, and I was keeping notes when I was listening to people talk. And I heard someone say that they would want to tell their adopted kid that, or they would want them to feel that they're part of a normal family. And honestly, yes, you want them to feel normal, but not in a way that erases their adoptedness. It's not a word, but you get my point. Not in a way that erases their identity as an adoptee, because yes, you want them to you want to normalize adoption, not the family itself, because it's not a normal family. My family especially is crazy. You're welcome. But crazy in the best way possible. I just want to clarify that. Yeah, so it's not going to be easy, and that's like my bottom line. And I heard people actually mention depression as well, and it's something that most adoptees go through. Some of them, and I pass through depressive episodes very frequently, especially during my teenage years with the hormones and all. But like being a teenager, a lot of people tend to validate depression in adoptees when they become adolescents because of the hormones and stuff. But it is hard. I mean, I go through
belonging. Can you
tell
us something about belonging?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say
Oh,
right now.
sorry. Okay.
عادي, mama. Um, I very frequently feel like I don't belong. I don't fit anywhere. I've actually, like, in my worst points, I've went crying to my mom and like to a lot of my friends that I wanted to change schools. I wanted to move countries. I pulled up at one point I created an entire PowerPoint for my mom just to convince her to take me to a boarding school in Switzerland. Um, so it is hard trying to belong, and these episodes and depression that you go through, it's very important to learn to cope with them. And because I was adopted, my entire life I've been searching for myself. I've been searching for my identity. And of course, having birth parents would have made it easier, but a very important part of finding myself and feeling like I belonged to something was my friends, and of course other coping mechanisms and like methods. Well, mainly right now, my friends have been amazing. They've thankfully, alhamdulillah, I have such an amazing group of friends. They're all supportive, and the reason that I love my friends right now is because I feel like I can talk to them about anything and express myself freely and talk about my mental health as well as illness, and they'll be supportive and listen to me. And yeah, kind of getting emotional talking about my friends, but one of them one of them is here. Hi, I know you can see this, but yeah, basically that, like, my friends have been a very big part of it, especially as a teenager. I need people who, like, around my age that validate how I feel. And yeah, and also another type of coping, I guess, that I've used ever since I was a kid was fictional worlds. Books, movies, TV shows, you name it. My mom has constantly complained about me locking myself in my room and escaping into my books and my shows, Netflix. But honestly, it's more of an escape and a distraction than just me trying to isolate myself from the world. Although I'm escaping my reality, I'm taking myself to a place where I call home. And something I thought of, and this is no fault of my family at all. It's just normal with adoption that it comes with trauma. I've never felt at home, and a thought that occurred to me was, wow, how traumatic does a person's life have to be for them to consider a fictional world home while they're sitting in their actual house, like their physical house. Um, and yeah, so yeah, that's basically all I had to say about that. And but my birth parents, yeah, now that we're talking about my identity and looking for it, my birth parents have never been there. When I was a kid, though, my mom helped me write um, a message to her and made me write a letter back to myself. And I actually don't remember what I asked her, but I remember doing that actually. But when I was a kid, I used to tell everyone that I used to tell everyone that I was actually indifferent to my birth parents, and I don't want to know them, and I understand. But now I've kind of become more aware of my emotions, and now quite frankly, I'm enraged at them. I don't want to meet them. I don't want to have anything to do with them. But that's something I can't control, and I have to learn to accept it, which I'm still trying to. And like a big part of that is thinking of my birthday. My birthday, like, I've noticed, and my mom has noticed actually, that through, like, every single year, both my brother and I, around our birthday, we go into these depressive episodes and we nonstop crying and stuff like that. And it's said that it's around the time that we're separated from our birth moms. um I like, this year I realized that my birthday is actually my birthday, because with a lot of adoptees it's more an estimated date than an actual birthday. June 11th is my actual birthday. I figured it out this year because I noticed the pattern. Every year on my birthday, or the night after my birthday, at around 2 a.m., if I'm asleep, I'll wake up randomly. If I'm awake, I'll like start crying, like, heavily. And every year I watch the same movie to calm myself down, The Dead Poets Society. That's why it's a really important movie to me. And yeah, like those are the things that help me figure out who I am. My birthday is a big part of it. Not knowing my birth parents certainly is hard, but I'd rather know where I'm from than who they are, because I mean, I'm scared of looking for them. If I do find them or find out that they're dead, I'm going to be devastated if they don't want me. But at the same time, I'd love to meet them. But right now, it's more of a no. And yeah, and I heard, like, that's basically all I had today. But another note I made when I heard other people talking was that they wanted adoptees to feel more positive about themselves and to speak more positively. And that's honestly a big no, because I think I said this earlier, that sometimes a person has to wallow in their feelings. Speaking from experience, like, I often dive into my books and movies and TV shows, and I dig myself this deep hole of distraction, and then there comes a point where I just explode. And this just, it's really hard. So I found recently, I didn't used to think that therapy actually worked. I used to think it was all this big, like, scam for, I actually did used to think it was a scam until I found not a community, an environment that I actually felt comfortable talking in. And this made me speak more about my feelings. And I realized that, like, distracting yourself isn't the easiest way to get out of things. Like, my mom thinks actually that I distract myself with school and that I'm a workaholic because I join all these clubs and activities, and she tries to get me to stop. But, like, that's all part of like, digging myself deeper into that hole. Like, yeah, her assumptions are true, and I am digging myself in a hole. But then when I realize, I talk about it, and it makes everything much easier. And that's basically all I have to say. And my bottom line today is that don't silence anyone's voices. That, like, and you have to look at the dark side of the moon sometimes, even though it's ugly. So yeah.
Thank you, نور. ترجمة ولا ما تبون ترجمة؟
Okay, I'll do my best.
لا يعني
طيب.
محتاجين جدا نترجم كلام نور، مهم الحقيقة للكل، فمحتاجين جدا نترجم. رحاب اتفضلي.
طيب، نور هي بنت محتضنة دكتورة زينة. هي أنا هقول بالظبط النقط اللي هي قالتها. هي قالت في الأول إن هي مستعدة تاخد أسئلة زي ما أنتوا عايزين. هي طبعا تربت في بيئة مفتوحة جدا للحديث أو تتكلم في موضوع الاحتضان. وفي جانب من الاحتضان أحيانا مش بنتكلم عنه كتير، إنه هو الجانب اللي مش إيجابي قوي. في طبعا جانب غير إيجابي لشعور الطفل المحتضن، وإنه هي حابة تتكلم عن الموضوع ده. في الأول كانت بتتكلم بس عن الجوانب الإيجابية اللي في حياتها كابنة محتضنة، لكن هي حاليا في السن الموجود اللي هي عايشة فيه حاليا حست إنه بدأت إنها تقدر تكون عندها الشجاعة إنها تتكلم عن الجوانب الغير إيجابية. والمهم إنه الآباء والأمهات اللي هيحتضنوا يكونوا على دراية بيها. فبتقول إنه أولاً هي كانت بتقول إن الموضوع مش سهل إنها تتكلم عن الحاجات اللي مش إيجابية، وإن هي فاهمة إنه تربية التعامل مع المراهق أو الطفل المراهق مثلاً محتضن يمكن 10 أضعاف صعوبته عن الطفل البيولوجي. لكن هي نفس في عوامل مشتركة، لكن في حاجات كمان مختلفة كتير. هي بدأت تحس إنها تقدر تتكلم عن الجوانب الغير إيجابية في شعورها من تقريبا الصف السابع، اللي هو تقريبا صف تاني إعدادي. وإنه المشاكل اللي كانت بتجرى لها كانت أساسها من المدرسة، من الأطفال اللي حواليها أو زمايلها اللي ما كانوش متفاهمين موضوع الاحتضان اللي هي متبناه، وإنه كانت هي تعرضت لبعض من التنمر في المدرسة. أسفة على الإزعاج المتفاهمين. هي سمعت بعض الناس بيعلقوا بيقولوا إن كان في نوع من الاكتئاب. هو فعلا بيحصل نوع من الاكتئاب لبعض الأولاد المحتضنين بالذات في مرحلة المراهقة. وان كان السبب الاساسي من شعورها بالاكتئاب هي عدم الشعور بالانتماء، اللي هو البيلونج، ان هي كانت بتحس ان هي مش بتنتمي للاسره، مش بتنتمي للدوله اللي هي عايشه فيها، مش بتنتمي للمجتمع، لدرجه ان هي عملت زي عرض تقديمي لوالدتها عشان تقنعها بانها تبعتها مدرسه داخليه في دوله ثانيه، لان هي حاولت انها تهرب من الواقع اللي هي موجوده فيه. فهي حاسه ان هي كانت طول عمرها بتحاول تدور على المكان اللي تنتمي ليه، لكن بمرور الوقت بدات تكون عندها بعض الاساليب للكوبينج ميكانيزمز او اساليب الموائمه، ان هي تبدا تتقبل الواقع. من احد اساليب الموائمه دي، وهي عملت لسته ببعض الاساليب دي، اولها ان يكون في حواليها اصدقاء متفهمين وعارفين الظروف اللي خاصه بيها، وان هي تقدر تتكلم معاهم عن mental health اللي هي الصحه النفسيه والعقليه بتاعتها، واصدقاء دول يكونوا فاهمين. الحاجه الثانيه ان هي كانت بتلجأ في بعض الاحيان للفاكشن وورد، اللي هو العالم الخيالي من الافلام او القصص الخياليه او كده، وكان بيساعدها احيانا ان هي تبدا تختلف شويه او تهرب احيانا من الواقع اللي هي مش عايزه تواجهه بشكل دائم، وده كان بيساعدها كتير. الحاجه المهمه الثانيه ان هي كانت اتكلمت عن بعض التعليقات من الامهات، انه في بعض الابهات والامهات بيحاولوا ان هم يدوا لاولادهم المحتضنين احساس بالاسره الطبيعيه، وده نوع من انواع الهروب من الحقيقه. مهما نحاول ان احنا نكون بوزيتيف، نكون ايجابيين، لازم نعترف ان الطفل المحتضن له مشاعره الخاصه وله رحلته الخاصه في البحث عن ذاته، ولازم نكون متفاهمين ان الرحله دي فيها حاجات ايجابيه وحاجات سلبيه، وانه حتى هي النهارده لو قابلت البيرث بيرنتس بتوعها او والدها والوالد والام البيولوجيين حقيقيين، فهي مش مستعده انها تتكلم معاهم حاليا، وان هي احيانا تشعر بالغضب تجاههم. واخر حاجه ان هي كانت بتعتقد انه العلاج النفسي او الثيرابي ده حاجه سكام، يعني نصب، مش حاجه حقيقيه، لكن ببعض المشاركه في بعض الجروبات او بعض المجموعات اللي بتتكلم عن الموضوع حست ان هي الموضوع ده ساعدها، وده ملخص للكوبينج ميكانيزمز او الطرق اللي هي اتعلمتها بمرور الوقت للتعامل مع الشعور بعض المشاعر الغير ايجابيه المتخصصه او لها علاقه بحياتها كابنه محتضنه. اعتقد ان انا ما فوتش اي نقطه، بس دكتوره زينه لو في اي حاجه انا.
برافو عليك، ابدعتي. شكرا رحاب.